We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers before the season ends, so hit that subscribe button. Now enjoy the podcast. We could not believe our eyes.
The Kings couldn't guard 5 guys.
And the Warriors made all the threes to put us to sleep.
At least we saw Markelle Fultz.
Are we watching the Kings or the Bulls?
And now we're officially the gosh darn 10th seed.
You gotta be freaking kidding me.
At least I got a free hat, though.
I'd like to make myself believe that Zach LaVine's not Kevin Herter.
I hope that we spend more than $45 million to trade him away. I think it's time to blow up this team.
As I fall asleep.
Welcome back to the Kang Gang Pod. This is episode 34. This is our first time recording after about 2 weeks. We had a nice little all-star break. We thought the Kings had a nice all-star break too. A lot of stuff happened, obviously. They definitely practiced a lot. They definitely got a lot of reps in together.
Yeah, they look locked in. Yeah, they look locked in for sure.
They looked like, yeah.
You thought that tonight they were going to come out, be locked in. Boy, oh boy. I was at the game tonight. Shout out to Neil Heaton. Shout out to Isaac Budd. Shout out to the whole crew. It was a lot of fun tonight. We got a free hat. The whole row got free hats tonight. So it's nice to wear it. So that way we were all dialed in. So
No, and that was the best. That was the best part. That Shivani and RT got a nice hat to wear during the game.
Definitely.
But guys, we lost by 26 points to a team that we were 2-0 against during the season. They get Jimmy Butler. It was a completely different team than what we saw earlier this season.
Yep.
Last time we played them, I think we won by almost 30. And this time they clapped back to us.
What about the second game, though? We were down by like 15 and all that, and then came back and won. It was like the DeMar DeRozan game on ESPN, I think.
Yes.
So that's the first game.
That was the first game.
We won the first 2 matchups.
No, that's what I was saying. Yeah, we won 2 in a row, and then this game, oof. They clapped back. They saw the Kings when we played them at their arena when we won by 30. They're like, we're a different team now. We're going to do it to them. And my God, 21 turnovers this game. There's not really much great to talk about.
There's only one great thing that happened.
Markelle Fultz. Okay, or DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to mention.
Or Keegan Murray's engagement.
I mean, DeMar DeRozan's first quarter. That's about it.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan's first quarter, he was balling out.
Yeah, he had 15 in the first quarter.
I think it was like 17. I think 17 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
getting
nice.
to the point where he's like the only guy we could rely on offensively. Man, when we have too many cooks in the kitchen, like we've said with LaVine, DeRozan, it is an issue. It does not look good right now.
Way too many cooks in the kitchen. We look like Obo, Italian table and bar.
We look like Ratatouille. All the rats just scrambling around the kitchen. That's what it looks like right now.
Jack's Urbanites.
Yeah, all the Ratatouille,
I think the most frustrating thing about this game was it wasn't even like the Warriors star players beating us. It was B-Pods, Moody, Buddy Hield,
Quentin Post Malone
hitting a couple threes. So I think that was the frustrating part was like Curry wasn't even going off. I mean,
we made him a passer.
We made him a passer, and everyone else was confident in hitting shots. And when that's happening, our offense needs to show up, and no one really showed up other than DeRozan. So I really wanted to see Sabonis utilized a lot more. Obviously, he got his rebounds and he was an enforcer in the paint, but I need him to abuse Quentin Post in the post. Like I need that to happen. We need to utilize our bigs, especially when the Warriors start so small. When the Warriors start with a small lineup, I feel like we underutilized Sabonis the whole game, really. So I don't know if that's a coaching thing. I don't know if Sabonis needs to be more aggressive. But yeah, our offense didn't look ready, and it sucks because like you would think after a break and I think they practiced. At least they had like. I think
it came out that they practiced one day.
Yeah. I mean, it just looked like they were playing pickup ball out there, and it sucks. And even the Warriors, they have new pieces, right? They have Jimmy Butler. I mean, one new piece, but
yeah, they basically acquired Jimmy at the same time we acquired Zach. So
yeah, but I mean, they ran their system. Their system is obviously much more practiced than ours, right? We, have a new game plan, have a new coach, drawn up plays and calling plays. So they know what to do. Their role players know what to do. And, we just looked lost out there. Our offense looked completely lost. And
And then our defense is an even
our-
worse
Our,
story.
our defense looks worse than it was after the trade deadline.
Oh,
Like, my God, it is just... The defense was already pretty bad to start the season, and now, like, after the trade deadline, it's gotten, like, way, way worse. I don't know.
Do you think it's a matchup thing? Do you think it's a lineup situation? Because we added defenders. We added Jake Laravia. We added Jonas Valanciunas. You added guys that could provide better length on the defensive end.
Interesting because when I was there at the game, they took out Levine in, like, the first 4 minutes of the game.
I liked that.
I liked it, too. I kind of liked it. I was like, all right, I like seeing a little bit of... Because people thought, Keon, Ellis, people on Twitter were like, man, just put Keon in the starting lineup more. And... it worked. I mean, that first quarter, we were down by like 1 point going into the end.
It was close in the first.
It was close,
The second we went away from that, that's when it started to snowball.
Bad.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, the whole storyline before the All-Star break was we just need, we need the break to hurry up quick so we could get some practice in, get some rest. And now, I mean, okay, it's only been one game, but you would expect that a team that needs to make a playoff push with 27 games left in the season, they need to, take advantage of this time, figure things out. Obviously it sounded like Coach Christie, his mindset was on like fixing the team, but the players they came out tonight with zero effort. They looked completely lost out there. When you think that you would have some time to finally like talk about a few things, they looked discombobulated out there. Sometimes it looked like they didn't even want to be out there. Like people were saying, like reading into Zach LaVine's body language. It's like, does he even like? People were asking, like, does he even want to play for this team? So there's just a lot of questions right now around this roster, and this is the worst time because we have 2 games left in February that are very winnable. We play Charlotte next, and then we play the Utah Jazz. I mean, Charlotte just beat the Lakers, but.
And they played competitive against the Nuggets too.
Yeah,
so that's
not the worry. The thing that's to be worried about is that Charlotte and Utah. Those better be wins. It's March.
I will tell you right now, we've struggled against the Hornets. I don't know if you guys know this, but we are 3-7 in our last 10 matchups against the Hornets.
Okay, really? I did not know that.
Yeah,
okay,
that's pretty bad. So
so maybe I should not be overlooking Charlotte as much, but I've just been so focused on the 13 games we have in March because all of those games. Johnny, if you would like to pull it up, can you please?
Yeah.
These 15 games that we have in March, I want Johnny to read the 15 games in a row, and then after, I want you to...
Oh, God.
It's really bad, because these teams are very good.
So March 1st, Rockets. March 3rd, Mavs. March 5th, Nuggets. March 7th, Spurs. And the Clippers, Knicks, Warriors, Suns, Grizzlies, Cavs, Bulls, Bucks, Celtics, Thunder, Trailblazers, Magic, Pacers. That's a terrible schedule. Pacers.
That's all of March. Pacers is the last
Ending
one.
with the Pacers, March 31st.
And that's on the road, too. That's brutal.
See, this makes me very, very nervous because the way we played tonight, because Golden State they were neck and neck with the Kings record-wise.
Johnny, how many games was that?
That was like
In March,
18.
1,
18?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
17 games in March.
Sheesh.
It honestly, like, those are not favorable matches
That's
for
like
the Kings.
That's like a 5-12,
especially the way we're
type
playing.
record, yeah.
Because going against the Warriors, who are going into the game 28-28, Kings are 28-28. This is like the team that you're going up against for that last play-in spot, right? Now we're pushed to 10th. Warriors obviously got better at the trade deadline. We don't know who we are as a team. We lost all identity. I mean, obviously we have solid players on our team, but when you put them all together, it doesn't look good right now. It's a big concern, and I'm dreading the month of March because it is going to be make it or break it for this team. Either, like, I don't even want to think of like the terrible possibilities of what is going to happen if we, go, like you said, 5-12 in March. That means we would be way out of the play-in. I think we'd be
probably 12 or 13.
Yeah, at that point, because who knows? Like maybe Portland and
San Antonio
have
catch
better,
up.
They have more like favorable schedules, and maybe they surpass us, and we take the 13th, 12th, 11th spot. That would be heartbreaking.
The only silver lining though is that this year's pick is top 12 protected, which is nice, but it's not like a top tier end pick where it's like, ooh, it's oozing enough to be like where we can somehow leapfrog into the top 4.
I know, and I saw that a lot of people were saying online tonight that, if we do bounce out of that 12, like if it goes to 13th or something, then it goes to Atlanta, which would not.
Yeah.
be
So
good,
if we're the 14th, the 14th and 13th pick, it would go to Atlanta,
which would suck. Like
right.
That would
and
suck.
if that basically means if we play in the play-in and get bounced, then that pick goes to Atlanta.
Yeah. So it's. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a lose-lose situation essentially. You don't win a play-in game and you don't get the pick. So it's like the Kings are in a tough spot right now, a very, very tough spot, especially with that March schedule. But man, this Warriors team, it's basically the Warriors and the Phoenix who are going up against to get that final play-in spot. Obviously, we would like to not even be in the play-in situation, but the way we're playing right now, Mavericks won tonight, so that the gap is getting wider. It's not looking good for us right now. So I'm just nervous. I'm being honest with you guys. I'm very, very nervous about this team. Too.
Yeah, we gotta step it up, dude.
We just gotta stop turning the ball over. But
we gotta stop turning the ball over.
Yeah, turning over the ball has just been a major
think about this.
issue.
If Zach LaVine is just like half of who he's supposed to be tonight, I think we're in this game. But dude was non-existent. 5 turnovers.
But it's not even offensively. It's like it's his defense when he's out on the court.
There's no effort.
Anyone could score on him.
Yeah,
and it was like time and time again. You're like, oh, Zach is within arm's reach. Oh, the guy's gonna score.
Mm-hmm.
But Buddy saw cookies out there. Buddy Hield saw Zach LaVine on him. And he's like, I could score. I could score.
Brandon Pajemski, he had like an insane shot. Like in the third quarter, he had like a turnaround fadeaway in the corner, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, what do? You can't play defense. Every time it felt like every shot they had like outside the 3-point line, there was nobody coming to guard him. Like it was just like so open. It was so open.
Yeah. I know they did.
They made crazy shots, but they also made the open shots too.
Oh,
so
they made everything. They made everything.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
When you only have one defender on your whole starting lineup in Keegan Murray, and everyone else can't defend anyone. Sabonis, obviously, he does so much for us, but he's not the greatest defender either. So if there's only one defender out there, that's not the recipe. We got too many cooks in the kitchen. They're looking for the recipe. That's not the recipe.
So who do we ask to come off the bench, though? Because
that's the question.
LaVine's definitely not going to come off the bench.
Especially with his contract. No way.
Do you think he's the highest paid player on the team? There's no way he's coming off the bench. It's got to be either Monk.
It has to be Malik. It
has to be Malik Monk.
Which is so unfortunate because obviously he's been great, when he was in the starting role, but defense. I think Doug Christie needs to make the decision that we need to win games, and everyone needs to put their ego aside. Like I was watching the Court of Gold Netflix documentary about the USA team, and they were saying, Steve Kerr was saying to the players, he's like, we need to put all our egos aside because the only thing that matters is winning. You guys aren't here to get paid. You guys are here to win. And then Kevin Durant, first game, he comes off the bench, and Kevin Durant does not come off the bench, but he was willing to do it. Then when he came off the bench, he went crazy in that first game and scored 18 points.
Especially coming off an injury, too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, guys need to sacrifice for the greater good of the team, and I don't know if we have players on the team that are willing to do that, and I also don't know if our coach and our staff has the cojones to tell these all-star players that are making $45 million that they need to take a step back. Yeah. So it's a very tough situation that the Kings are in right now.
I think we let this starting 5 ride. We have no choice, but to let them ride the next 2 games against Charlotte and Utah, let them gel a little bit, get some confidence back, and then see how we are in March. But if we lose to either Charlotte or Utah and have a performance like we did against Golden State, I think we should make a change for sure. So,
no, we have to. We have to. And I've noticed,
but let them gel, let them get some more run, because they haven't played together that long.
And they have extra rest going into Monday too. So that's huge. So that weekend is a film reset. Get a
practice every day.
Yeah,
more than one. Practice
a film practice reset
Monday.
Because we're in a very different situation than a lot of other teams. There's a lot of other teams across the league that they could use their time to have those rest days and everything. But the Kings are not in the position where we need to be resting right now. We have a fully healthy roster. We got to if the goal is to make the playoffs, we need to take advantage of the off days and really pedal to the metal. Because like we said, March is make it or break it for this team. Hopefully the rest of the games in February are 2 wins back to back, but even that, you can't even count out Charlotte or Utah. It's not going to be easy. But I also saw that Doug Christie today, he was letting the team gel with that starting 5 all throughout the game.
Right.
I saw someone said it on Twitter earlier or during the game, but they're like, classic Kings not letting the bench unit like gel essentially. And I think he's like sacrificing the bench to like put more game time minutes towards that starting unit, because I think in Doug's eyes he's like, I need this group of 5 to like figure it out, because that's the team that's the group that we're gonna have to like close out games and such. But
I think what RT said, like it's a great statement, and it shows like he's getting more control over the group when you pull Zach LaVine at the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter. So
the 4-minute mark, early on.
No, it was. I think it was
in the 8th minute.
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah, sorry. 4 minutes into the game. Yeah,
4 minutes in the game. That's what I said. At the 8-minute mark. Yeah,
that's Doug Christie, putting his foot down and saying, "Hey, we need more effort on defense from you." And it was a good sign. And I don't know if that affected Zach LaVine's confidence, throughout the game. It shouldn't. You're a vet in this league. Like figure it the F out. Like, you know what I mean? So, but that could have, went into Zach LaVine being frustrated. I remember when Zach LaVine was at the free throw line late in the game and Doug Christie was putting the bench guys in. Zach LaVine had a frustrated kind of look on his face, like, why are we putting in the bench? So I don't know what ripple effect that's causing. I don't know if Christie and LaVine are getting along. But Zach, you're making $45 million. You're the highest paid guy on this team. We just traded for you. We believe in you. Like, figure it out. You're a bucket. Just be average on defense. Just be lengthy, and be the offensive force you are. Don't let you getting taken out 4 minutes in the game because the defense ruin your confidence.
Yeah, because even DeRozan, earlier in the season, we were seeing how poor he was playing on defense. But, he's even taken a little bit of a leap. You could see a little bit more effort from him. Zach needs to take something out of his book, because obviously DeRozan, his offense has been incredible. If we don't have him, we're losing games by 50 at this point. Mm-hmm. LaVine needs to obviously be more aggressive on offense, but way more aggressive on defense too.
Yeah, we'll be on the flag hunt if we didn't have DeRozan, you know what I mean? So,
dude, it would be really bad, because we have there's zero flow in offense right now. It's basically give it to DeRozan and just wish for the best. Like you saw with Golden State tonight, Gary Payton and Pods, everyone cuts to the basket. No one on our team cuts without the ball.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a solid cut was Jake LaRavia's first 3 minutes of the game, when his first time in Sacramento a couple games ago, when he did that back cut. That was the first time I saw a solid cut from this team.
We ran no plays. We have just all ISO.
Yeah.
Jake LaRavia had the ball ISO'd on, I think it was Draymond or something, and everyone was just watching him. You expect LaRavia to ISO Draymond Green? No. People aren't cutting, they're just staying in their spot. They're, just watching. They're not doing anything.
No, it's whoever has the ball at the top of the arc. It's okay, you have the ball. Reign. It's either you have to go dribble handoff. No one else is cutting. It's either a DHO or a pick and roll. And it's that's the only two things we're doing. And it worked. It worked 2 seasons ago, but it hasn't worked.
And it also works when you have De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis running it, but we don't have that anymore. So we need to be a little bit more creative. And
our offense is it's
not the same.
Yeah, it looks like what a high school coach or middle school coach would keep running. Yeah. There's no knock on what we're doing, because obviously they're NBA players. They could figure out a better way. There's always motion out of that type of offense.
But our system is just terrible.
Yeah.
And I feel like our adjustments aren't good. When our offense isn't rolling, we just do the same thing over and over. And it's so frustrating. I don't know what the right answer is offensively, but I know what we're doing, that's not the answer. Whatever we're doing right now, that's not the answer.
My favorite offense to watch is what the Warriors do. Because, obviously Steph commands so much. He's a magnet when he's out there. He runs around. He's running all around the court, and then Pods is wide open, or Gary Payton is wide open. It's we don't really have someone like that. Yeah, they move the ball.
Yeah, and then Buddy Hield or any of those guys, they come off that secondary run through where Steph looks like he's covered, and then you see Buddy Hield. He runs to the top of the key, gets a dribble handoff from Draymond, and then does a pick and roll with him. That offense is just so multi-dimensional. And now that Fox is gone, it feels like we lack that multi-dimensional type of it. So I think the Kings need to figure out who they are right now. Like all of you guys have said, I think this team can be really good. I still believe that we can get there. We can still make that push, but I don't know. With our schedule coming up in March right now, and just that, I'm starting to look at Tankathon in a little. I'll be looking at Tankathon as soon as I get home tonight. So, just praying and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this team is at a standstill right now. And it makes you question, like, did we make the right move in getting Zach LaVine? And did we make the right move in not getting those assets that could have helped us have a backup plan if this season didn't pan out? Because it felt like we got robbed in this deal. And I have a topic for you guys that I want to share at the end of this podcast, and I want to get all of your opinions on this. So that way, because I saw something on Twitter today, and I was like, I gotta share it tonight.
Got your gears.
Yeah, I got my gears. Yep. So
yeah, you know who would look good in a Kings uniform right now? Marcus Smart. And and he was available. I don't know, man. He would have been nice.
I thought he was going to be a buyout candidate.
He fits the Vivek Ranadive timeline of
he does.
A guy that
an older player that has a name to him.
Right, exactly.
Vivek loves guys with a solid name to him, like Zach LaVine. We could have got him
DeMar
6 years ago.
Oh man.
I mean,
Jake LaRavia.
Well, LaRavia is a young guy.
Jake, he's a future piece, hopefully. But he could sign with someone else.
He's gonna request a trade soon.
Oh yeah, he could sign in the off season somewhere else.
He could.
That's what I'm saying.
But like we have solid guys where I'm like, man, like there's so many glimpses in that short period of time with our new guys. Like when we had the Lithuanian Towers, that was so exciting. But again, that was against not so good teams. And when we go, and now the ultimate test is when we're going up against all of these playoff teams. Basically every team we go against is a playoff team in March. So this is going to be a huge test for us. And I just don't really know. Bless you?
No,
do you even bless for a burp?
I don't think you do. You just let
allow
it.
You allow it.
Yeah, you just let it go.
RT slammed 12 beers at the game tonight.
No wonder why it took so long to get here. Jeez, your Uber was taking forever to get here.
No, I know. Jeez Louise. Thank God I didn't have a beer tonight and just had chicken tenders and fries tonight at the game.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, dude, if the Kings want to charge $70 for a standing room only ticket, which is what they did tonight, they gotta play a little bit better.
Want to hear something crazier?
$70 for standing room tickets.
Every year, like around end of February, we get an email from our ticket rep, and it just shows the price increase. It just keeps going up and up and up. Like our tickets 3 seasons ago, let's just say, percentage-wise, it's going up a lot. And the not double, thank God, dude. That would be Vivek. I'd be knocking at his door saying, "What are you doing?" But I mean, it's going up. It's going up, and the product on the floor is not going up. So
going down.
I don't know, but that's just kind of where we're at with. I mean, Sacramento Kings in general right now. I mean, really just praying for a bounce back with the Charlotte game to kind of, winning always cures everything.
Yep.
Always the conversations are always not the best when we lose, but I mean, that's just how it is though. I mean, winning does help, but the reality of the situation is things could get very ugly. I remember before the De'Aaron trade, like way before, we kept saying things could get really ugly really quick. I bet you if we re-listened to our earlier podcast where we were kind of like foreshadowing a trade and then it actually happened and now we're at this point, I'm just nervous that the words that we were saying is going to lead to just a mass destruction of the Sacramento Kings. But I don't know. Maybe that's the best thing we need.
Just blow it up.
The way we're playing right now.
The West is so competitive, dude. It's like in the West, there's like, I mentioned this in previous pod episodes, but I'll mention it again because I just think it's so important. The West is so competitive. There's like 13 good teams.
So are you telling me that the answer is just to blow up the team because right now is not the winning window?
I don't think there's a choice.
It's after the trade deadline, so we're not blowing it up this season.
I don't know.
But I'm saying in the offseason.
We haven't enough talent.
But in the offseason, though, that's the thing. Like,
because those guys could just ask out.
They could. DeRozan could ask out.
If LaVine keeps playing like this, who's gonna want him?
No, I'm just saying there's guys on our team that like this is not the team that they signed up for.
Right. Like DeRozan came to this team for Fox and for this team, and it looks like a shell of themselves this year. DeRozan's been playing great, but now that Fox is gone, and I mean Zach LaVine is there, so there is some incentive. But if you're looking at this from 2 years out, DeRozan still wants to compete for championships. He has zero championships.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like DeMar
just wants to go. He wants to compete for a team that wants to strive for a championship.
And it would just be so unfortunate for DeMar, with how great he's playing, to not see him in a playoff atmosphere, because DeMar is at his best in the playoffs. Like, he is, like, I was listening to the Pat Bev podcast, and he was saying DeMar DeRozan is a playoff player. Like, just get that guy into the playoffs, and, like, that's where he thrives the most. And we've been lucky enough to see him play amazing for the Kings offensively this season. But it's getting to the point where it's so unlikely that we will get a playoff berth. I don't know. Hopefully, we're just overreacting. Hopefully, but I don't know, man.
And then you look at next season too. Like, what's going to happen next season? Where are we going to be projected in the West of all things?
The West is next season is going to be way better than it is this season. It's only going to get better.
Exactly.
So that's why I was saying, like, if blowing up the team, obviously you can't blow up the team anymore this current season, but like in the off season, guys could ask out, because like you can't blame them if they do, because. Look at the direction we're headed. It's like we're just in limbo right now, and it's just not exciting right now. There was a lot of excitement prior to the season, but now that when you look at that March schedule, 50 wins is impossible.
Yeah, it's bad.
We would have to lose only 4 more games.
To be fair, I made that prediction thinking Fox should be on the team all season.
Johnny, that in order to win 50 wins, we could only lose 4 more times.
Yep. So we have to go.
Cue the clip where I say we're Pacific Division champs.
We might get.
Well, technically, we're 6 games out, I know 6 games out is not too crazy.
6 games out from what?
The Pacific Division.
But how many out from 6th?
3.5.
Okay, see, that's the only silver lining, is that with how bad we're playing, we're still like within arm's reach. But
we have too much talent on this team to tank. So
I know, and we're not.
We're not.
This team can't tank.
I know
you can't tank.
Monty's job is on the line.
Stuck in the middle.
Yeah. We're in limbo right now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is we're stuck in this middle where this is the ceiling is try and win playing games. Hopefully, become the 8th seed, and then. That's our successful season, getting swept by OKC. I think that's like
I know. Like
that's our successful season.
Yeah,
and that's sad. I'm sorry, but like that's to me, like I feel like this team has potential for so much more.
So much more.
And it's frustrating to us as fans. It's frustrating to a front office. It's frustrating to players. And it's frustrating to the entire NBA, to where we think, we'll make the playoffs and, get swept in the first round. We'll call that a successful season. People want to see us succeed, right? That's why we stayed here. That's why we didn't move to Seattle. That's why we didn't look at like Vegas. That's why the Maloofs didn't sell us, and that Vivek came in and saved us, right? So I think the fans deserve better, the players deserve better, and the front office deserves better. So that's where I'm at.
Everyone deserves.
Yeah, everyone deserves better, man.
Players need to look themselves in the mirror after this game. Say, what can I do to help this team? Everyone wants to win. The fans want to win. Everyone would support this team so much and love this team so much if we just played hard and won games and didn't have performances like we did tonight. It's that simple. Everyone in that locker room needs to look themselves in the mirror. Everyone. And say, what can I do to help this team?
I love that.
What can I do?
love that.
Even the coaches. Coaches probably more so than the players.
Everyone. Ownership. The tops.
Because this season, you guys said, this season isn't one that we can just forget about. It's not. It's obviously we're thinking of the offseason, but this season is a make or break for a lot of people's jobs in the front office, a lot of players' futures that are on this team. There's a lot riding on the rest of these games.
Well, and that leads me to a perfect transition, because
what is on your mind? What is it?
There is a tweet that I saw from, let me pull it up. It is from Sam Quinn from CBS, and he ranked the 30 front offices in the entire NBA. And I want you to guess before I
already
reveal.
Know the answer.
You know the answer? You saw it earlier?
No, but I could make a guess.
So, yeah, can you make a guess? So, out of the 30, where do you think we are ranked?
If we're number 30, I swear to God.
28.
I'm going to say 29.
We have a winner, and it's Cristo.
Because Washington is 30, right? We can't be worse than Washington.
Nope. Washington is above us.
Wait, no. 30 is Chicago.
30 is Chicago. Yeah, 30 is Chicago.
And that makes it even worse.
30 is Chicago.
That literally makes it worse because Chicago and the Kings are like best friends.
Right, exactly. And it's like the purgatory in the middle. So the ones that, so I'll explain. So the 30 was the Chicago Bulls. 29 is us, the Sacramento Kings. 28 is the Phoenix Suns. 27 is the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, for right reasons. 26 is the Atlanta Hawks. 25 is Portland Trailblazers. The 24th is Denver. And then 23 is Milwaukee.
Wait. Oh, Denver. That's actually that's a shot at Denver because they're like, you have Jokic on your team. You got to make some moves around him.
It's like, that was surprising. And
Can you skip to the top three?
Yeah, I'll go to the top three. I'm
gonna guess Warriors are in there.
Spurs.
I'll say the Thunder up there for sure. Thunder's got to be up there. Thunder got to be up there. Spurs are number 3.
Boston maybe.
Boston's number 2, and then number 1 is OKC.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. See, now this is the conversation that is very, very, very intriguing to me because
executive of the year means nothing.
No, it's like because obviously it's just it's luck. It's kind of based on luck.
It's moves you made, but then again, it's like also luck.
But this was on management or ownership.
It's on it's front office.
Front office.
So it's ranking all the 30 front offices.
But the front office is an extension of the ownership, which brings me to my take. I feel like the Kings are in this. I'm going off of what DeMarcus Cousins said because when I heard him say this in an interview over All-Star break, I was like, wow. He basically was asked about like the De'Aaron Fox trade and like what are his thoughts, and he was like, when the Kings made the playoffs, like they didn't really have like a plan past that. It was just like a plan like how to get there, and once they got there, they didn't know really what was next, and that really got me thinking because obviously the whole goal this whole time was just to break the streak of 16 seasons, right? We finally did, but then from that moment, from what Johnny always likes to reiterate, what Monty McNair did, he didn't do anything, and then he barely tweaked. He got Kessler Edwards the following year, just made very small tweaks, and then two basically like looking back on it now, wasted years, failed years.
Failed with Duarte, we failed with Zenkov.
Yeah, so failed seasons basically.
Terrible fail.
And then now this season, your star player ends up, getting his way out because of the coaching change and everything. And then now we instead of doing the rebuild, you do the retool because obviously, it's only 2 seasons removed from where we were. And now it's like, it's obviously what we have to deal with this front office because they're in. Nothing's going to change with the success of this team. It's all starts from the top. I don't think we're ever going to get there.
There's too many people making decisions. Like the local guy was saying on our pod, we've had so many opportunities to make this team better that wasn't Sasha Vezenkov or JaVale McGee. Like we had other offers on the table that had to go through too many outlets, so that delayed the answer that we had to give the team back, and they pulled the offer.
And they got cold feet, and they said, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
And that's
just a poorly run organization. Poorly run.
Yep.
Poorly run.
I agree.
Because the Thunder, number 1. Who's answering the calls? Sam Presti.
One guy.
He's running the team. One guy is running this team.
You don't even know who the owner of their team is because they let him make the decisions.
No, it's not Clay Bennett, right? Because Bennett was the one that had the Supersonics, I think, right? It was not Clay Bennett. I don't know.
No idea.
But anyway, to my point is we had 2 years to figure it out. And because of the confusion and the lack of leadership in our front office, even though Monty's the one that speaks as our GM, he's not the only one making moves. Obviously, we know Wes Wilcox is the assistant general manager, whatever his title is, and Vivek is the most controlling owner in the NBA, maybe in all of sports. Moves they're not easy to make, and they're not easy to communicate with other teams when there's so many people that have to review it and give their approval. And yeah, I don't blame Fox for knowing there's, not to bring up Fox again, but knowing that there was so many offers on the table. And it frustrates me as a Kings fan, knowing that we could have kept that momentum going from the Beam Team era, improved like a normal team would, right? Build off that momentum, and we just didn't.
Speaking of the Beam Team, there's only 4 guys remaining. So it's like, we're not even the Beam Team anymore. Yeah. Although, we
have a beam.
We might have like maybe 7... hopefully 7 more beams that we'll see at
God.
Maybe 7.
Oh.
I'm just being honest. March is
We're
not
getting
favorable.
40 wins again this year.
Okay. 40, I mean...
Are any of you going to the game Monday?
No, I don't have tickets until the Spurs game. So I'll be there for De'Aaron, but...
We should go to the game Monday. We find out.
I know, I'd love to see LaMelo. Because every time I always pick the Hornets game whenever the season tickets drop, and then he's always injured.
I know.
And now he doesn't play back-to-back, so if they play Sunday, he's not going to play against us. So, man. But before we close, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the All-Star weekend. Because RT and I, we watched the All-Star game together. Before we talk about the All-Star game, let's just talk about the dunk contest. Mac McClung, Stephon Castle, they made it actually entertaining.
They made it interesting.
I thoroughly enjoyed the dunk contest. Matas Buzelis and what was his name? Andre Jackson?
Yeah, Andre Jackson.
Oh, man. I just felt bad. I just felt bad for them because they were trying so hard to get these dunks. They were trying way too difficult of dunks. And then Stephon Castle, the guy that people were saying, oh, wouldn't it have been great to see him dunking in the slam dunk contest in a Kings jersey? The guy that we would have loved to have in the Fox trade. He put on an excellent show and a great competition for Mac. But Mac McClung with that dunk over the car, that might be one of my favorite dunks I've ever seen. Like, that was insane.
He's a showman, too. Like,
Unbelievable.
I mean, if you saw his high school mixtape and all that stuff, like, Mac McClung was that dunker.
He was that
in high
guy.
School. He was that guy. Like, all throughout, like, his college career, throughout his high school career, and even, like, doing, like, stuff in dunking. He was just that guy when it came to dunking.
So much fun to watch. And I'm surprised Vivek hasn't given him a call. Because he loves the big names. I don't know why he hasn't called him
I don't know. I mean, it would have been fun to see him in Stockton. But I will say this. Stephon Castle put on a show the entire weekend. I mean,
he did great.
He was from the Rising Stars game, winning the MVP, to being the part of the finalists as a slam dunk contest, to putting up a fight against the OGs too. Like he kept that team that won on Friday in it for Sunday too against the OGs and barely squeaked it out. That was impressive, but
he got his name out there. People know who he is now.
He did.
You know?
He did helped. For sure.
But segueing into Sunday, the ratings apparently they came out. This was the second least viewed All-Star game in NBA history, I believe. And new format. It was just... I know a lot of people from Sacramento weren't watching because they were boycotting because we had no All-Stars there. But the ones that did watch, it was just...
There was no basketball being played.
That was it, yeah.
It was literally
46
just like
minutes
Mr.
of basketball.
Beast, and it was just like all these, random things. And like, I was watching with my family and my brother-in-law, and it was just like we would watch them, spurts of the game, and then we were just like, when is the game still on? Like, because they would just go on
many
these
breaks.
weird breaks, and halftime was like an hour long. It felt like, but yeah, that was like easily one of the worst All-Star games.
Yeah, but like out of the very little basketball that was played, there was a little bit more competitiveness.
The actual basketball was fine.
Yeah, like that part was what they were trying to fix, but then they ruined it by having all of the... They had 2.5 hours of other stuff that were not basketball related. I do think the Mr. Beast thing was pretty cool, but they just did it in a weird time where it like took away from the games.
Yeah. If you did it before, that would have been nice. Yeah, you know what I mean? I just...
Like, there's so much downtime in the full weekend of All-Star Weekend where they could have done a bunch of cool stuff that would have got tons of views for people to watch. But
exactly.
During the actual event, they did so many things that were just weird timing.
And the inside the NBA.
The tribute for them, that was weird timing too. And... yeah, but it said there's 46 minutes of actual basketball being played, and then there's 2.5 hours of commercial breaks and
just too
random
much
segments.
Like the Super Bowl was more entertaining than the All-Star game was on Sunday.
I don't even watch hockey, and the NHL.
Yeah, and the Four Nations was so
that was
good.
electric.
Dude,
I was the only only hockey game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, hockey's incredible.
They figured out how to make games competitive.
That's what the NBA
that was during All-Star weekend too. That was like their version of an All-Star weekend where they did like a round robin. For those that haven't watched any of the Four Nations, basically this is what happened. They put 4 hockey countries that had some of the best players.
It was USA, Canada,
Sweden, and
the other one.
I forgot the other one too. It's not Switzerland.
Russia?
Is it Russia? I don't know. I don't remember. But it was a round robin, and the top two teams, the top two best records, went off in a championship match. And then the game went into overtime, and Canada won. It was really fun. It was really fun. Cool. So that is like an excellent product of getting fans interested. Like you could have like the West, the East, and then like have like an international team too. Like an international team would be really cool. And then there's a lot of things.
The All-Star game, fixing it is very, very difficult. Everyone says there needs to be an incentive.
Finland, that's it.
So my dad was talking to me about how at the in MLB for the All-Star game, the winner gets home field advantage in the World Series. Mm-hmm. I feel like if they were to do something like that for, like, say they bring it back to East-West.
For the finals?
That, like, obviously it would make it way more competitive because, say, for example, it's like Cavs and Thunder that make the NBA Finals this year. You know, their records are so close. So, like, whoever won that All-Star game would dictate who gets the 4 games at home if it goes 7. That would be insane, you know? Like, obviously that would mean a lot and that, like, people would play for that. But it's really hard to change something. You know, they're Adam Silver's throwing everything on the table because he just wants a competitive game. They almost had it this year, but man, they just put so much breaks in between.
It was too much.
I like the country's idea. I like, especially with how many Europeans are in the NBA and
they're only getting better.
You know, European players are, international players are. I like have the game in a different country. I think I saw it on like an ESPN segment, but have the game in a different country. And then, just have it be USA versus world.
That would be crazy. Yeah, having an All-Star weekend and like...
It's just more pride, like I feel like.
Yeah.
They'd have
like in pride. Paris would be really cool.
Because they do the Paris games. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Mm-hmm. Other thing that happened, Keegan Murray got engaged. Yep. So obviously that's what he was doing over All-Star break. I mean, I'm so sorry for all the females out there. And Keegan is off. You cannot... If you ever thought you had a chance, now you can't. Now you can't.
Shout out to Doug Christie though. He had a funny thing in the pregame today. He was like, if Keegan could get down on one knee, then he could play defense. And I'm like, that's our head coach right there.
I love that. On our team that does play defense.
I know. I wish Levine got.
Oh my God. It was so funny.
He reproposed to his wife. Again?
It was so funny. Say that to Levine. There was something I saw live too. Speaking of Keegan, like Curry was on the other side of the offense where like they were inbounding the ball. Curry was all the way over there, and who was trailing him? Keegan Murray, just following him like a shadow. I'm like, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Keegan was locked in.
He was locked in. That's
why I told Tony to bet the under on Steph because I was like, he's not scoring over 26.5. Johnny should have listened, but
I should have listened.
You should have asked me. You should have asked me.
I know,
but
I retired.
Other thing that happened over this break was actually happened yesterday. Huge news. Victor Wembanyama out for the season with deep vein thrombosis in his shoulder.
VT. Very
serious injury. And like you guys were telling me, there's been a lot of other players that have had this. And, man, that sucks. That's scary. And hopefully, you know, a lot of people were excited to see, you know, San Antonio get this new team. But now who knows the state of San Antonio? Like maybe they're going to start, you know, maybe we kind of like, you know, stash this season a little bit, maybe get more draft capital. Who knows? You know,
they could be tanking too.
They could be. It's very interesting.
They lost tonight though because they did come off a back-to-back against Phoenix, but they did play well against really Phoenix. De'Aaron balled out. He had his fourth quarter Fox moment. So
I was watching.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to really depend on whether or not Fox decides to get that finger surgery. I know he's due for a max contract at some point, like a max contract extension. I know he can't sign the Supermax because he did get traded, but
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so he can't sign the Supermax. So it's going to be interesting. Didn't he have to get
All NBA as well?
I think so. You have to. Yeah, you also have to make All NBA, and I don't think he will this year.
I think he. I think he has next season too.
He has next season.
Yeah. So
we'll see. I mean,
interesting though.
It's interesting. So we'll see if Fox.
Spurs are interesting situation right now.
We'll see if Fox basically. Takes the season off too and recovers his finger, and it's gonna really. Then it comes down to us and Phoenix. So for that final play-in spot,
I have a prediction. Want to hear my prediction?
Yeah, let's hear it.
If San Antonio, they lose the rest of their games in February, and they lose maybe 1 or 2 in the beginning of March, Fox will end the season, get the surgery, and not play against Sacramento on March 7th.
I don't hate that.
That is my prediction.
I don't hate that.
But if they win out in February and, you know, they start climbing up and then, like, you know, they're really close to where we are, he will be playing for
Yeah,
sure.
because they won. They're 2-1 against us, and they want to secure that tiebreaker. So that's a game where I think
It'll be a
that
big game.
you need to get that tiebreaker.
But it all
because,
decides
yeah.
on the future of the team. If they want to stash it and start tanking, or do they want to push for a playing spot without Victor? It's very interesting. NBA, man, the Western Conference is a drama movie, but the East, man, if we were in the East, we'd have no issues. We'd have no
Be a
issues.
top 3 seed.
Easily. But anything else we'd like to cover? Any other exciting
It's good to be
news?
back.
It is good to be back. We had to take the break because, we were 33 episodes in, all NBA was taking a break, so we're like, why don't we take a break as well? But we're going to power through the rest of the season. I think we should be recording more.
I agree.
So we're going to be recording a lot more to finish out the season. Hopefully, we get that playoff push. Hopefully, we get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season.
Especially since we want to get 1,000 before the end of the season.
Yeah, so we're going to be grinding.
That being said, subscribe to our channel. Help us out to get to the road to 1,000. And
please,
we are also close to
we're so close on
1,000
Instagram.
followers on Instagram. We're gonna do something crazy once we get to 1,000 followers on Instagram.
You're doing something crazy.
I will be doing something crazy.
I'm watching you do something
we as a whole collective will do something crazy.
No, you're doing something crazy.
Watch you do something.
No, you're doing something crazy.
It's
your time to do something
yeah,
crazy.
all right, I got you. I'll cook something up. I'll cook something up.
I got something planned for 1,000 on YouTube, but you got to plan something for 1,000.
Deal. You heard it here. This is live. This is like live negotiation.
It's very soon. It's very soon.
I got you. I swear, I got you.
I want to see it.
I can't wait.
We're gonna make it happen.
Johnny, you just stay cute, all right? You just stay cute.
He's the energy guy. He's the guy that brings the boom all the time. So yeah, that's right.
He brings the Owl City to the Fireflies.
That's right.
That's what he does.
Right.
I put
That's
the teasers on IG.
That's right.
I put the teasers.
That's right.
That's what he does.
Shouts out Shivani.
Shout out Shivani.
Shout out Neil.
Shout out Neil and Devin Heaton. And shout out to Isaac Bunch for the tickets tonight. Appreciate you guys.
I told you he wasn't paying.
Yeah.
I told you. RT doesn't pay for tickets. I told you that.
I paid him up front.
Oh.
Yeah, I paid him up front.
Oh, geez.
How much was it?
I'll tell you after.
With that being said, we'll see you later.
Thank you so much for watching. See ya.
See ya.
How much was it?
Wait, we were at 186.
No,
We got him.